Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and patriots. Across the fruited plain, welcome to the Reading Epic Threads live stream. This would be September 8th, 2021, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time yet again. I join you from the extremely lofty heights in the Sacramento Mountains of Cloudcroft, New Mexico. The air remains thin, but so I'm not as peevish as I was before. However, you still get real tired up here, but the weather is absolutely gorgeous. I'm absolutely loving it. It's fantastic. I'm eating more than I normally do, but that's for obvious reasons. I got the altitude with more calories. At least that's what I keep telling myself. So how's everybody doing? What's going on? Hello to Andy Foster, Michelle Miller, Joe Pappas, Barbara Bear, Angel Paste. Are we ready to take new orders or what? Laura Kaiser is here. Laura, I've got all your stuff. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Hello, Juliet. How are you? One Alchar 2. I saw your stuff as well. I know I need to, but I clicked on it and it just took me to Facebook Messenger. I got confused and then just lost all of my momentum. Matthew Trump is here. Hello, Nola Agent. Let's see. Everybody running both YouTube and Twitch. I hear Twitch has been just fucking my shit up real bad, guys. I don't know what to say about that. That really sucks. Mackenzie Connie, how are you? Doomchick73, Deus Rojo. Richard Rohr is here. Dolinik Allard is in the house. Bonneville Pontiac from Casas Adobes, Arizona. PJ's 14, Julie Keller, Lori Kova, Bad Mofo 505, Mermaid Miss G-Dub 7, K-Buzz 2. Barbara is still waiting on bottles. No Angel Paste orders yet. Meek and Humble, OSI, Danaha, hello. Guy Smith, quick shout out to Mimi Reedblom. You say hello, and I didn't last time. So hello, Mimi. How are you? Guy Smith is here. Omar the Great and Powerful. Diane 6866. Franklin PNW. Moron Mama is in the house. Adapt and Overcome. Oh, got a nice little Mom's Loud. You guys know that we don't have any really special episode today, right? It's just going to be me running my mouth and reading threads in my inbox, mostly from Special Ops Kim. So it's going to be kind of a cozy stream today. Kajunking, Trex, Dr. J Blazer, Ego Monstro, I'm Debbie24, Textured Puma, Bob Live Free, Dance 2002, VP, Mega Hard 66. Who's Mega name? Maricopa here, home of the Whopper. Let me tell you a little Whopper. I'll tell you a Whopper. The election in Maricopa County was free and fair. There's a all right. Yes, I love Whoppers too. Nat 4322, America First USA, Chelly 66. Guys, it's look, freaking Twitch is all over. Well, you know what? They do it to Patel Patriot too. So anyway, I'll wait a little bit and see if it can go back on. Right now, it jumped from saying like 120 in Twitch to 0 in Twitch. So those of you watching on YouTube can probably see me. Those of you watching on Twitch can probably not. So isn't that just delightful? JCBAJM. Everyone's so freaking gay, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, but I'll give it a little bit of weights. You know what we'll do? We'll start by saying those of you who were kind enough yesterday to send me super chat, you quick shout outs. First of all, Melissa Swancut, thank you for your very generous super chat. And then also thanks to Patty Wirtz for a nice super chat as well. Thank you both very much. If you would like to support what we do here at Reading Epic, just me, although I get all the money, you go to paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. And don't pay no mind to all that nonsense Bitcoin. It just don't matter. El Salvador implemented its policy of making Bitcoin a mandatory legal tender in the country, and for some reason or another, people found it hard to use. I don't know. But it made the price tank. Not exactly sure how that works. Oh my God. It says my freaking Twitch stream ended. Holy shit. I do not know what to tell you on that. Let me see this. Let's go view this shit on Twitch. Continue to Twitch. It is so obnoxious how nasty the Twitch reception has been. Looks good to me. So obnoxious how nasty. It's working for me, guys. So, whatever. People, okay, there we go. People are filtering back into Twitch. There we go. All right. But you never know what's going to happen. They're just the problems that we have. What do you say we do a little Special Ops Kim? So, enormous thank you to everybody who donated. Beamish Metalworks for an earlier super chat. Very much appreciated, Jason. Follow him on Twitter, guys. He's badass for real. All right. We're going to start with we're going to do a Special Ops Kim Day, guys. And right after this stream is over, I'm going to head to the Western Bar and Cafe in the Cloudcroft friendly restaurant that serves extremely good food. So I'm very stoked about that. Let's check it out. Americans are resourceful. From Bleu Kitty at freeatlantis.com. Raises to public opens as private club. Kansas City, Missouri. Ray's Cafe, a restaurant in Blue Springs, which was ordered to close down by Jackson County on Friday, closed to the public opened as a private club. Jackson County ordered the owner of the cafe to close because it received repeated violations of the county's COVID-19 order. On Saturday morning, and by the way, guys, I just want everybody to know, we're going to the results of the canvassing too. I just wanted to let a few people trickle in first. All right. On Saturday morning, a KSHB 41 News photographer reported a sign on the restaurant's door that said, members $1 fee to enter the establishment. Welcome to Ray's Private Club. $1 membership fee collected at the door at each member's visit. Dress code, no masks allowed. Please sign your name and verify your club's membership. Club policies. By entering this club, you admit that you are not a member of the general public. By signing your name, you record your membership and attendance. You also assume any and all risks of transmission. Members of Ray's Cafe are allowed to suggest items to the menu as part of the membership. The latest order issued by Jackson County on August 4th applies to places of public accommodation, which include, quote, any place or business offering it's the Jackson County order, holding out to the general public goods, services, privileges, facilities, advantages, or a comfort, health, and safety for the general public. However, according to the order, quote, public accommodation shall not include a private club. I mean, that should have been a no-brainer from the start, guys. That was, I'm a former smoker, and one of the things that they did in Austin was they banned all indoor smoking at restaurants. And back in the day, me being a libertoid type, I said that they have no right to do that. That's the restaurant to decide if he wants smoking in his restaurant. Anyway, there are lots and lots of ways to get around smoking bans, but the best one was call yourself a private club. Cigar, obviously, you can't have with no smoking indoors. So you call yourself a private club. You no longer have the same strictures that apply to public places that are open to the public. So Karen E., that's what David Josh Barnett do. I need to learn more about how to write those affidavits. So yeah, Trump fucking won. So very true. Let's go ahead and get to the about Liz Harris coming out and talking about the canvassing. So I watched a CanCon interview, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, in which a guy who was doing the canvassing in Maricopa County and canvassing, for those two of you who don't know, just means going door to door to a house, from house to house, that are listed as containing registered voters, saying, hi, we have this house as having these people registered to vote from this house. Are they here? Do they actually live here? Is it appropriate that they are registered to vote at this location? And then you ask the people who say they did vote, what method did you use to vote? Did you go in person? Did you mail in a ballot? Did you drop a ballot off? What they found during the canvassing, just to get straight to the, is egregious, massive, staggering fraud. People who said, I didn't vote, who the records say they did vote, those are called ghost votes. And people who said, record shows that they did not, those are called lost votes. That plus the preliminary reports from the Maricopa County the Arizona Senate prelim report from the audit, that it's something on the order of, so far, we're pretty sure we have 400,000 fake ballots. So that's really bad. That's off the charts, super duper. What is going to make it way, way worse is the fact that this is just Maricopa County. So we have Mark Fincham, the current Republican candidate for Arizona Secretary of State, saying, okay, it is now time to decertify this election and recall Arizona's electors. Do I know the legal consequences of any of these things? No, because we are completely in uncharted territory. What's going to happen? Mimi, I sure hope you did hear me saying hello. Mark Conway, how are you, sir? All right, so long story short, the reason I didn't talk about it immediately is because we're where this is concerned. Now, there's another news item that was brought to my attention by Mr. 7DG5, as he is known in these parts. But because he sent it to me via Facebook chat, I'm going to have to scroll for it for a second. You know, David, you can always send this stuff to my email box. All right, here we go. See if I can tab. So I want to go ahead and share this with everybody because this is a very big deal. I don't know who knows this. I also shared it with Jay Bell on Twitter, so she was able to post it as well. So we're going to show this to y'all right quick and see who has it and see who doesn't. But this one, you might find this to be more of a mega boom. Here we go. Notice on the continuation of the national emergency with respect to foreign interference in or undermining public confidence in United States elections. September 7th, 2021, presidential actions. Please note the URL is whitehouse.gov. On September 12th, 2018, by Executive Order 13848, the president declared a national emergency pursuant to the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, 50 United States Code, Section 1701, to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States constituted by the threat of foreign interference in or undermining public confidence in United States elections. Although there has been no evidence of a foreign power altering the outcomes or vote tabulation in any United States election, foreign powers have historically sought to exploit America's free and open political system. In recent years, the proliferation of digital devices and internet-based communications has created significant vulnerabilities and magnified the scope and intensity of the threat of foreign interference. Guys, this is coming out of the Biden administration. The ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections, including through the unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation, continue to pose an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. For this reason, the national emergency declared on September 12th, 2018, must continue in effect beyond September 12th, 2021. Therefore, in accordance with Section 202D of the National Emergencies Act, Chapter 50, United States Code, Section 1622D, I am continuing for 1 year the national emergency declared in Executive Order 13848 with respect to the threat of foreign interference in or undermining public confidence in United States elections. This notice shall be published in the Federal Register and transmitted to the Congress. Joseph R. Biden Jr., the White House, September 7th, 2021. Now, this one would seem to be relevant to any conversations in the Patel Patriot sphere about devolution. Guys, all Biden had to do was quietly allow the executive order to expire. Didn't have to say dick. Didn't have to come out and say, oh, well, I'm not going to renew this. He didn't have to do any of that. All he had to do is sit on his demented, crippled ass and let it expire. What the hell is going on if it's not devolution? Mr. Vax 2 says, Biden had to be forced. No question about this one. It's huge. I agree. David, the patriot and Reading Epic Threads fan who brought this to my attention, said maybe he was just so senile he didn't know what he was signing. Obviously, we both know that's not true. Nothing was put in front of Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't even know what's going on. The people who are in control of whatever comes out of whitehouse.gov executive order section put this out there. Why? Because they're white hats. I consider this to be dispositive, guys. It's over. We now know. Patel Patriot, you got to check this out, bro. I should have emailed this to him. But, what do you know? I get to break it. So share this with all your friends, guys. Share this stream with all your friends, if you don't mind my saying, because, because of the brilliant 7DG5, I got to be the one who broke this. It's pretty badass, guys. It's extra super duper badass. So let him sign that, Bad Mofo 505 says. I tend to agree. I don't know what to tell you other than, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but guys, we're in devolution and patriots are in control. It really isn't something that I think it's all that easy to argue anymore. Hey, I want to just say a quick hello to Sudan, who tipped me 5 library credits on Odyssey, Epic Jill in there as usual, and Olenik tossing me another super chat. I really appreciate you guys for coming into Odyssey and checking out the live stream. I don't know what to tell you. Mr. Vax 2 says it again. This is incredible. No way, dude. Yes. So I'm sitting here saying this executive order of all executive orders, seriously, renewing this one, Patriots executive order, and it's supposed to expire on September 12th. And then Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. renews it for another year. Guys, I think we're just going to have to sit through during a fake administration. And one of the ways we can test to see if we've got a fake administration is they get absolutely no laws passed. Nothing of significance happens, except apparently enormous is just to make us miserable, so we'll never let this happen again. Yeah, PJ's 14 says devolution. All right, please tell me your off commie PayPal. What am I supposed to do, Johnny Hotspot? I mean, I have cash. I'm not getting off PayPal. I need the money. What am I going to say? Johnny Hotspots, please tell me off your off commie PayPal. We have to have our payment methods. I'm paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. I'm also $pgunnels on Cashapp, Gunnels on Venmo. What do you want me to do, man? I have all the payment methods. Please tell me that you don't work for a company that takes venture capital, because that's just as bad. You work for a big bad as anybody who takes PayPal. If you work for a company that ever took venture capital, you are just as bad as anybody who takes PayPal. If you work for a company that ever got a subsidy from the government, you are just as bad as anybody who takes. Guys, I have seen the enemy, and it is us. Okay? Gab payments, eh? All right. I will definitely check out Gab payments. Anyway, no, Venmo is not good, America. Guys, you guys got to understand this. Everything, every institution, every company, except for mom and pop shops, are corrupt. Venmo, pal, same organization. Cashapp, owned by Jack Dorsey, or owned by whoever owns Jack Dorsey. Corrupt. All of these payment methods are owned by the beast. All of them. Except for crypto. I'll be letting you guys know what my Bitcoin wallet address is. Anyway, so Johnny Hotspot is kidding. Sorry, got triggered. I don't want to get my payment methods attacked. Anyway, let's keep going, guys. So for real, back to the subject at hand. This executive order being renewed, it's the biggest thing I can think of today. I don't have anything other than I need a normie explanation for this one. Here are the big ones. Okay, so we have Charles Flynn, brother of General Michael Flynn. Okay? He is the commander in the Pacific Theater. Okay. Elevated to that position by an obvious patriot in the Biden administration. So I need all you super smart people in my audience, figure out a normie explanation for that one. Okay. St. Richie sent me a slide displaying at some point tonight. Obviously, I'll display. Okay, so that's the big one. Charles Flynn in the Pacific. Now, all you guys, I need a normie explanation for Joe Biden renewing Executive Order 13848. I almost said 484. So anyway, I need normie explanations for those two things and the renewal of Executive Order 13848. I see no explanation outside of devolution. All right. Cash literally has symbolism all over it. I call them demon rectangles or demon squares. Okay, Jillian is correct. They can try to use this executive order in a fakery, Russia, etc. We cannot underestimate them. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. So please observe Rattlergator's response. Unfortunately, Jillian is correct. Long story short, Jill and JB say that the bad guys can try to use this executive order in a fakery. We cannot underestimate them. I don't know. I don't think I like that explanation. And I'll tell you why. They could just as easily have crafted their own executive order to fit their needs. And they could have done it. They could have recrafted it. Why use the N order? And considering the fact that interference in elections is what they do, JB, I don't find that explanation compelling. As far as that is concerned, but I don't think so. All right, next. But also the General Charles Flynn thing. I haven't heard a good normie explanation for that one either. Renewed it for future elections. Donna Sarah, that's the gist I'm getting. Maybe thwarting audits by saying it wasn't me. I don't see how that would thwart audits. All right, guys. Now we have okay, guys. Yeah. So now I want to, before I actually get to St. Richie's slide that he wants me to show you, it is extremely important context from yesterday's episode be brought to your attention. So in yesterday's reading of St. Ritchie, issue 54, the main topic was the VAERS database. And well, I don't know if the VAERS database was the main topic, but it was a big, big topic. And what St. Ritchie decided to go ahead and do, because he's very big in IT, was to download the entire database forensically. So he enlisted the help of a database developer who looked into it and found what we call an object containment something. We're going to, whatever this is called, the one for this particular VAERS database, remember, Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, the VAERS database for this vaccine, the coronavirus COVID-19 vaccine, that its object container database, or whatever that's called, was created 2 years before the pandemic. Very important. All the other VAERS databases, their container objects were created contemporaneously. It's an anomaly that is very much worth looking into. With that said, I'm going to bust out this here slide. And then we'll open it up and share it with everybody. Hold for processing. All right. Container file. Linda Obi, thank you. Object container file, something like that. All right. So check this out. And put it in, can I put this in presentation mode? All right, cool. So, all right. So let us observe this together. And I'll take my face off the screen to make it bigger. Okay. So here we go. The moment a master data container is created, its associated, I'm assuming that's ITS, its associated replicated data container is automatically created. All right. In the case of the VAERS reporting system, 05 through 2019 were created in the year of their label. 05 was created in 05 and so on. In the case of 20 and 21, they were created in January of 2018. All right, so you got your master data source pointing to this whole big thing. Replicated data container, master data container. Conclusion. Data was being entered in the 2020 and 2021 data containers no later than January of 2018. The way I know this is because while a master data container can be created and left alone, a replicated data container is only created when data is entered into its associated master data container. All right, so just to make sure that I understand this as well. When you have a replicated data container, you can only create it when you already have data to put in there. Does that sound right, St. Ritchie? All right, so I just wanted to throw that out there and make sure everybody was with me on that. It's kind of a big deal. All right, so I've St. Ritchie, I get the St. Ritchie seal of approval. So make sure that this is understood, that there was already data being put in that database in 2018. Is that right, St. Ritchie? Did I get that right? So vaccine adverse event reporting system was created in 2018 and began being populated with data in 2018, even though the pandemic wasn't going to take place for another 2 years. What the fuck? I don't know what to say to that other than obviously there's staggering amounts of deception going on. So I hope everybody got that. It's kind of a big deal. So We'll just put that out there. Oh. Who created it? VP says, who created it? All you can do is just guess, but Alex Azar was appointed to secretary 2 days before the database was created. What do you want me to say? I don't know what to tell you. So whatever was going on, they knew the 2 years in advance. Okay. All right. Now we're going to do some special ops, Kim. And it's going to be Andre. We're going to do 2 Andre threads in a row, both from Special Ops Kim, both from .com. Nothing is so much to be feared as fear. Henry David Thoreau. Quote, so first of all, let me assert my firm belief. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, nameless, unreasoning, unjustified terror, which paralyzes needed efforts to convert retreat into advance. That's FDR. The American spirit has always instrument of fear and a rejection of its power to halt progress in the face of adversity. Abraham Lincoln said, and having thus chosen our course without guile and with pure purpose, let us renew God and go forward without fear and with manly hearts. Well, this fundamental American virtue has been inverted, utterly reversed in the clown world. Suffering. The America I grew up in looked up to as heroes those who moved past their fear and did great things despite facing great peril. The vision involved overcoming the fear of the greatest empire on the planet, the British Empire, its brutal mercenaries, and its willingness to impose harsh conditions on the colonies attempting to elude its grasp. The Civil War was another overcoming fear. Combatants faced the prospect of having to kill members of their own families in order to fulfill their duty. World War I and World War II are obvious examples of this quality of the American character. Storming the beaches of Normandy is into our collective soul. But something has changed since the triumphs of the greatest generation. The purity and importance of the American spirit has been denigrated by the very institutions charged with inculcating patriotic children. And this destruction of the American spirit has reached its peak in the face of the current crisis. Courage has been replaced by a new form of cowardice. Today, those who have the Christian authority and narrative are vilified. Courage has been recast as weakness or liability. Fear, on the other hand, has been elevated to virtue. George Washington, a man who placed the highest priority on civic and personal virtue, would be horrified by the elevation of fear, cowardice, and blind compliance to a twisted, inverted counterfeit of real virtue. The degenerate and tyrannical left have empowered the cowards of our society to act in the exact same manner as was the neighborhood snitches who worked for the Stasi. They've lionized those who cheerfully cower in their homes, those who accept untested poison into their bodies and the bodies of their children. The left has taken courage and turned it into an Orwellian term. Today, courage means huddling in your home, avoiding any contact or connection with your society. Today, courage means accepting whatever it is that your deranged and debased government tells you to do. Today, accepting obvious nonsense as the truth. This is a most insidious attempt at gaslighting the very people who would fight back against all of this filth. The insane left attempting to get inside the heads of those who may decide to stand up. They are attempting to make everyone who is today questioning the narrative feel insecure or simply wrong for doing so. But it is clear that this cancerous attempt to mutate the American spirit, American courage, is already failing. The control of the narrative needed to continue to paralyze with fear and stupefy the American people is already a grasp. The Biden administration irretrievably fell behind the news cycle with the AFG debacle. AFG, Afghanistan debacle. The COVID narrative is collapsing too. The catastrophic effects of the mRNA product is flooding out daily. Entire nations are switching off all COVID restrictions, and nothing bad happens as a result, only good. Where we see attempts to maintain the evil COVID narrative, such as in Australia, people are fighting back. The bare shelves in many supermarkets as the result of the Aussie truckies' actions speak volumes about the future of the neo-fascists to institute the Great Reset. And I trust that those who had the responsibility to protect us from the malign influence of the CCP and their bought puppets have done so. Evolution in some form or another is in play. I trust that the state's audits are on their way and the results will be devastating. I am confident that the jury's investigations, Weiss, and likely many others, are reaching their conclusions and that the results of these will be devastating too. I see with my own eyes the flood of information that... hang on. I see with my own eyes the flood of information that destroys the COVID narrative will continue, and that doctors and scientists of good conscience, there's like a dozen of them, dude, analyze and release this to us all. We have Trump's Save America campaign to support. We have our local politics to seize and never release to the fraudulent left ever again. We have our families, friends, and communities to support and nurture for ourselves. George Washington told us what to do. He said, perseverance and spirit have done wonders in all ages. MAGA, we caught them all. And that is the second to the latest Andre thread. So naturally, I have to run my mouth after that because he said so very much. Guys, everything he said in there, so I didn't mean to get in there and contradict him, but one thing that I think won't survive this era is the reverence that we have had for people with MD degrees. It's that about 99% of them have come out of medical school dumber than when they went in and ready to follow the orders of whatever martinet pays them. This to commit mass murder by ventilator because it's the protocol. 99% of doctors are fat, drunken, little Eichmanns. And that's a fact that we're going to have to come to terms with. All right. But the 1%, they're great. They're awesome. Not all orcs. That's what I'm getting at. All right. Nexto, an optimistic Andre thread. Andre's on a tear, guys. Andre at freeatlantis.com. Unknown unknowns. I wrote a thread some time ago that asserted that in addition to the Moabs that we know are loaded and ready to drop, Arizona audits, Durham, etc., there must be a number of as yet unknown Moabs primed for detonation too. I consider that yesterday was confirmation of that assertion. The surprise extension of the election interference executive order was a shocker, but that will be largely ignored by most. Not here, it won't. The proper Moab was the drop of 900 plus by the Intercept, proving that Fauci lied to Rand Paul in his testimony and that gain-of-function research took place and was funded by Fauci. This is an unrecovered St. Fauci persona and narrative. This document drop represents a catastrophic flank attack on a previously solid component of the fascist left's narrative. Biden will never again be able to lean on Fauci heat on his behalf. What happened next once this flank was under heavy attack? Boom. The Arizona canvassing results dropped. I have not had time to properly digest these results, but the order of magnitude is obvious, inescapable, and devastating. We are not waiting for the failure cascade to happen, right? Flippin' now. Hat tip to Jesse Stone, who just posted this. Gateway Pundit. Biden's support is cratering among hats. This is an unrecoverable position. The chants of fuck Biden happening at sports stadiums are a spectacular example of the rapidly accelerating cascade. Hat tip again to Jesse Stone for posting again exactly the reference I need as I'm typing this. You are reading my mind, bro, from the Gateway Pundit. Nothing says 81 million votes. The headline is, but it's something like 81 million votes. Yeah, right. I predict that we will see a repeat of this pattern of unknown unknowns and previously acknowledged Moabs. By the way, Moab's ordinance air burst or air blast, mother of all bombs. Everybody knows what the fuck that means. I don't know why I needed to explain that. I didn't. Okay. The Arizona canvassing results have set the stage for the Arizona audit results. I think the audit results will not be released for a little while yet. They will allow the pressure developed by the canvassing results simmer for a bit of time yet. Ahead of the release of the Arizona, another unknown, taking the left by surprise and rendering them unable to respond to that bomb or the incoming Arizona audits. Ahead of each known frontal assault will come attacks. The hermit, who will go unnamed, educated us on the tactics of World War I German assault troops. Those tactics are right in front of our eyes. As the left stares at the incoming frontal assaults, they are hit over and over again with unexpected and hugely damaging flank assaults. Just as they gathered their wits, boom, comes the frontal assault with greater magnitude and damage than they anticipated, and it will happen over and over again. Just before the Durham indictments drop, there will be another catastrophe that keeps in check any preloaded propaganda sound bites or talking points. The left is now behind every news cycle. All of their narratives destroyed, and to their horror, the failure cascade has not really even started yet. And make no mistake, even if the mainstream media is in our countries, what is happening right now is being very carefully watched by politicians around the world, especially the Dominion politicians. Trudeau, already the subject of public derision wherever he goes, cannot be feeling very comfortable these days. The neo-fascists in Australia and New Zealand foisting medical tyranny upon their populations must heed. We are in the failure cascade right now. This is it. Some of us will be riding along in rafts and kayaks, having a wonderful time, enjoying the turbulence, ground to a pulp by the rushing current, dashing them against grinding boulders. Who is having a wonderful time? Trump is. Gateway Pundit, exact moment. This one says, 2 more Save America rallies planned in Georgia and Iowa. Now that you get to sit back and savor the downfall of every evil bastard involved in the destruction of our liberty and individuality. Enjoy. Hashtag failure cascade. MAGA. Mega. Bought them all. And that's Andre's latest. As always, incredible. Now, I have something I want to bring to your attention. So after listening to that thread, I imagine the members of a tiny little corner of the internet feel pretty darn good. But I would like to give a little shout out to our brothers and sisters in this war, whom we might refer to as awakened. We might also call them normies. These are the salt of the earth members of American society who are not having a good right now. And these people are very, very dear to us. And I would like very much to give you an example of what I mean. So let me scroll through my texts. So I just want to make sure everybody knows this community, we see the failure cascade coming. We see devolution. We see all these things. But we're a very unusual bunch. The normal conservative patriots do not see any of this. But they're waking up to their awakening is only just beginning, and it's not going to be pleasant. This is a series of text messages from a very, very close normie friend of mine, total conservative patriot, but a normie. I ask him, who are you talking to about politics? What's going on lately? He says, I don't really talk to people about politics. He says, I know you're all black-pilled, but I really think amazing things are about to start happening. And he says, if I had a choice between talking about politics in a group of people and insert extremely unpleasant broadcast, he would choose the extremely unpleasant thing. And he says, yeah, but it's depressing. And here's the best part. Just think about all your normie friends right now, okay? Here's what he says. I thought the world stable place staffed by people out of a Tom Clancy novel. Tom Clancy might as well have been writing about Star Wars. It's all that there are Jack Ryans out there fighting the good fight. Modern bureaucrats are a combination of anti-white college professors and the DMV lady. That the CIA created the crack epidemic, funded and protected Charles Manson, and created all of the wars we fought after 1963. To understand that the U.S. intelligence infrastructure not only didn't heroically win the Cold War, but are in fact the bad guys, is one of many letdowns. The FBI, untold crimes, and now the military is woke. It's not even a cool dystopia like Blade Runner. It's more like Idiocracy. So I just wanted to give a shout out to the many millions of patriots who are not inside this tiny little community. The millions of patriots newly awakened who have that view of the world. And it is a view of the world that I can completely understand and even sympathize with. All right. Let's see here. From St. Richie. It's probably some sort of a white hat operation. Bringing on Azar, a Pfizer enemy at that time, was too coincidental. Trump probably thought if we can't prove their COVID death counts, then they can death counts. A narrative battle Trump saw coming. Jesus, what a great thought. So I had a big hashtag audit the death counts. So what we saw 20 was a normal flu season coupled with some hot spots of so mafia soldiers wearing white coats. Some people call them scumbag foot soldiers for organized crime who write prescriptions and they work for drug dealers. We call them doctors. Anyway, they committed on the orders of their mafia bosses. They committed mass murder with ventilators. Okay, so doctors committing mass murder, we're totally used to that at this point. But other than that, it was a normal flu season. So, you get rubbing their hands together, praying for the next COVID murder that they can commit. But other than that, normal flu season. So what does that mean? That means there is no requirement for the existence of a novel virus. I think that viruses are just exosomes, the genetic schmutz that comes out of tissue when it dies, and then they say, "Oh, there's the virus," after they've killed driving it and poisoning it. But this whole narrative of the COVID deaths, every fucking death has been a COVID death. The media is so freaking powerful. So what is they probably knew as early as 2018 that they were going to pull this shit. And they prepared for it with a vaccine narrative. Now, what I'd like to know, St. Richie, Trump pimping the vaccine fit into all this? Because it definitely moves towards the white hats want to create a massive vaccine death narrative where none is actually happening. 2, where does Trump fit in the pumping of these vaccines? Because the more I look at it, the more I think we've been conditioned to think that these vaccines are poison death shots. In fact, they're probably just flu shots, which are not good for you, but they're not going to kill you either. And maybe a lot of these VAERS deaths are not what we think they are either. We're just throwing ideas around here, guys. A lot of you in this community are extremely committed to the idea that all of these vaccines are going to wipe out half the human population. And for all I know, you could be right, but I don't think so, personally. All right. So the polio flu vaccines will hurt children 5 years to 11 years of age. America First USA, you just read that somewhere, and because it confirms your bias, you think it's true. There is no such thing as polio. Polio is not a virus. Polio was almost certainly caused by toxicity in certain areas, but it wasn't caused by a virus. All right, hang on, let's see here. Rattlergator says, CDC even changed their flu reporting / documenting protocols. Yeah, nightmare in every respect. If you're talking about the audit, the death count part. All right, so St. Richie says, I'm beginning to believe that as well, Patrick. All right, Trump had to promote something he created. Vaccines are probably water. Well, they'd have to be saline because it's real bad for people to inject them with water. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but you can't just go injecting people with water, right? It has to be salt water. Beverly Rothschild stuff. All right, hang on, here we go. Read this Rothschild patent if you have not seen it before. I just learned of this yesterday. Beverly, I don't have the ability to click on that unless I open up Twitch. If you want me to read that, email me at pgunnels@gmail.com. I can't promise to read it though, because I'm like almost in a panic by how backed up I am on emails, but I get you. I'd love for somebody to read that and tell me what it's in it. All right. So what about the CDC changing the definition of vaccine? Yes. Okay. So Juliet, I still say there are 3 different compositions of the jab: toxic, not toxic, flu maybe, and placebo. All right, Juliet. So check this out. My mother, I know which one my mother took. She took both Pfizer jabs. She did not even get tired. She had no effects whatsoever. Okay? So there's that. Now my buddy took the Johnson & Johnson, 1 shot, and he got dry mouth, which was then followed up by explosive diarrhea. Aren't you glad you tuned in? So So, guys, I have jack shit for sample space. So I also know other people who are vaccinated, but I haven't asked them about their side effects. All right. Ooh, okay. So somebody says he knows the answer. All right. So I know the answer to this. All right, Veep Theory. I know the answer to this. Trump forced Moderna to commit to a legal fiction in order to claim invention in 65 days, and the same legal fiction allowed to change the definition of vaccine. Apparently, the initial goal was to kill over $400 million in a lockdown before the vaccine rollout. I mean, that's you could throw that out there, but I need more. But I appreciate, as always. All right. Trump did in order to improve flu vaccines. I didn't know that, Carrie Wall. Carrie, if you could send me what you have on that, pgunnels@gmail.com, and make sure that the subject line tells me that that's what that is, I can almost guarantee. All right. Nexto. Receipts. Christy Kingston, 50% placebo by design. All right. So Christy Kingston did a really cool interview with, thank you for bringing that to my attention. America First. A cool interview with Clay Clark of Thrive Time, I think. Anyway, it was a great interview, and she does hypothesize that because of the volume of vaccines that had to be for every single one of them to be a poison death shot, at least, and she surmised that 50% had to be placebos. So yeah. All right. So Andy Foster, by the way, USAdevolution.com. You got to check out the merch store. There's such badass shirts in there. I'm going to wear my Keep on Trumpin' shirt tomorrow. All right. Andy Foster says, I've considered the possibility that the VAERS database was a white hat. Do you mean white hat? PSYOP. Anyway, WH can mean two things. I think he means white hat. PSYOPs to freak people out to reject the vax. The CDC can't take out what's in there because it was planted like a spam bot. That's the kind of thing that I'd Richie on to talk about. But I love the lateral thinking. Okay, next. Okay, here we go. We got ourselves a testimony. I have a coworker that was jabbed on Monday. I can palpate every painful lymph node on her entire upper left torso and neck. She's got a fever of 101.8 and a blinding headache. That ain't saline. So obviously it's caused her to have an autoimmune response. Metal toxicity? Anyway, just throwing that out there. All right. Pickle Rick 8811, bro, you're amazing. I'm so glad I found you on Rumble from the Dev series. Bro, you found me on Rumble. I don't even have a Rumble account. Nice to have you, man. I'm so glad you're here. All right, let's see here. Joe and Paul. Okay. We're about to wrap up. All right. Eileen F2 says, we know they are half placebo, told the people they got a placebo, making the study null. Eileen, I think you and I have different definitions of the word no, but I also suspect that they are half placebos. All right. Okay, Beverly Bryant says, it is a patent owned by Richard A. Rothschild, dated October 13th, 2015, which lays out the, quote, system and method for testing COVID-19. Is it really that early? And they call it, the patent contained the word COVID-19 in it. I hope, Beverly, is there any chance that Barbara just emailed me the link. All right, we're going to look at this together. Excuse me, Heather, but I have a burger to eat in like 15 minutes. So we're going to do this, and then I'll because the freaking kitchen closes at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. It's such bullcrap. All right. But what can I say? It's a sleepy mountain town. Here we go. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, let's look at the URL and see if there's any way that this could be like spoofed or something. Could somebody tell me if I'm smoking something? Okay, I'm going to blow this up. This speaks for itself. Thanks, Beverly, for bringing this to my attention. Guys, debunk this quick. because this, I feel like I'm smoking acid. All right. Okay. What? System and method for testing for COVID-19. 2015, October 13th. Let's look at the fucking abstract. A method is provided for acquiring and transmitting biometric data, e.g. vital signs of a user, where the data is analyzed to determine whether the user is suffering from a viral infection such as COVID-19. Guys, debunk this, please. Help. Like, for real. No, help. All right. Look at the filing date, not what you think. Thank God. All right. Filing date. Because that's not okay. Date, priority. All right, look. Yeah. This can't be right, because then I'd have to lose my mind and then die. Priority date, filing date. All right, here we are. Whew. May 17th, 2020. Okay. I don't know why they had a weird priority date, but I feel better now, because that, and I wouldn't say anything other than I would be freaked out if they were that sloppy, because then it would make me think that maybe I was living in some kind of strange, I don't know, like I'm living through Total Recall or some bullshit, which I know that some people here are starting to feel that way. All right. Okay, it is absolutely legit, but guys, the filing date is May 17th. Thank God, Rattler Gator, because I was right in front of everybody. All right. Now, do not let this in any way take away from all of the coronavirus patents and testings take place before 2020. But for the name COVID-19 to be in the patent, that was what was freaking me out. For them to have the name planned for the exact year, that was too creepy. Filed it every year. I don't know about that, Moron Mama. There was a filing date and a priority date. So we have people who know how to read patents here who are not me. So make sure, that's why it's so important. All right, Patrick, they filed it every year, said Moron Mama. All right, now, guys, you got to go to you seriously, those of you who need to talk about this, you got to go to the telegram.com, I think is what it is. Or is it telegram.org? I don't even remember. I just have the app. Get on Telegram, okay? Do a search for Reading Epic Threads. Join that group. It is moderated by Epics. There's like 1,100 people in the group. Talk about it there, because this is way out of my league when it comes. I cannot analyze patents. All I can do is figure out if the patent, like the description of the invention or whatever, I could fix basis errors. But other than that, I'm useless. So let's see. Andy Foster. Priority date could be a reference to prior work in 2015, meaning to extend applicability from prior work on similar. Yeah, bro. That makes way more sense. Matthew Trez. Sorry. Okay. Priority date refers to the filing date of the original in family of patent applications. Later filings can be later date. All right. We're in business. Barbara Bear Angel Pace says, look at this patent for the vax. Not right now, because there's a burger at the bottom of this hill with my name on it. David Martin said it was patented in the early 2000s. Yeah. So just check out the David Martin stuff. Very on my Odyssey channel. If you look in the description of every video I post, you'll see in the description the most important coronavirus video you will ever watch. And that's the David Martin interview with Dr. Rainer Fulmich. To watch that if you haven't already. It's a very, very big deal. All right, let's see here. Amy, what do you have to say? What do people think about NASA releasing 75 bacteria-filled balloons during the corona event of the eclipse of the team? Whatever NASA does is always some kind of deceptive fuckery, and I've just given up on even looking at them. So I don't have a good opinion on that, other than it's never good whenever they're doing anything. All right. Okay, so Michelle Miller said something. Oh, no, sorry, Michelle Payne. I did patent law as an assistant. I need to check out that Telegram group. Yeah, it's the Reading Epic Threads Telegram group, guys. Please join it. Follow me right here. So if you're watching me on Twitch, hit the little heart button. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Do all those things for me if you could. Pretty please, sugar on top, plus whipped cream and cherry and all that good stuff. Guys, shit is happening. We've got the canvassing results coming out. We have Fauci finally, I can't say immediately, but he's getting real close to getting what he deserves. We have the Arizona audit results coming. We have Durham coming. We have people melting down. We have people in the streets in all the major cities of the world. This is a big deal what's going on. I'm privileged to share this with you, the most wonderful community on the internet. So thanks. And don't forget paypal.me/Bitcoin Armada. It's going to be a few more days before we can take angel paste orders. So remember that. But I think we're doing okay. Can I put the links below, Michelle Payne? The links are all in the article, Michelle. So all the links will be in the description. I mean, the description of this video is going to be chock full of incredible links. But just do a search for Reading Epic Threads on Telegram. All right, let us pray. Saint Michael the Archangel, Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell and all evil spirits who prowl about the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow.
I will be the greatest president